Out of all the things I heard, not just last night, but I have to be honest with you. In the last 9 seasons of Maple Leafs hockey, this clip we're about to play for you of Craig Berube is the most cutting thing I've ever heard about the group. Ever. And you can put Marner back in. This is not a this year comment. Whether Berube intended it to be or not. If you are looking for 24, 25 seconds, however long this clip is, to sum up the last 9 years in this city hockey-wise, this is it. This is a stone-cold lock for quote of the decade in that room. I thought Stolarz had a couple of beauties earlier this season. This one wins the championship belt for effectiveness and relevancy. This was Craig Berube, who at one point in this points to his heart and his head. And there is no mistaking what it is he is talking about.
Look at the game and show tape, or we go over things, there's a certain way we need to play the game. But, I can't give guys this or this, and that's on. They have to come with that. That's got to be on them. Like, they got to bring the heart and the competitiveness that's needed, and it's all the little things. They got to bring that. They got to want to bring that. We can bring the X's and O's, and I can go in there and yell and scream at them all I want. That doesn't do anything either.
So that happened Saturday. That happened. Craig Berube walked in front of a microphone rather calmly. Because when you're upset, you can explain that off after, right? I was mad. I'm sorry. We've all kind of, in all of our lives, we've experienced that. I was mad. I'm sorry. Didn't mean it like that. I should have said this. Berube wasn't yelling. Berube wasn't screaming. He basically said, with calmness in his voice, I think the issue is they're dumb and they have no heart. That's what he said. And then he pointed to things. He said it and pointed to it. It was show and tell. It was show and tell in case Terry Koshan and Kevin McGran and Masters and all these guys didn't know what he was talking about. Just so we're clear, this and this. Whoa. Could be worse in the chat. He's in the acceptance of grief stage. Yes, it's true. Berube is accepting a lot of things. And I have to be honest with you, because what normally happens, and I think this is still how the Leafs operate, because most teams operate this way. Players talk first, then coach after games. If that sequence is how that played out, we really don't know what the Leafs are thinking in terms of the core. Like, I have to be honest. I don't care what Max Domi's thinking. I care what the guys who've been there a while are thinking. And I'm pretty sure Morgan Riley and Austin and William, I'm saying William Nylander. It's a serious time when you say William Nylander. Again, he was wearing a shirt Saturday postgame. Serious time for William Nylander. I'm curious what those guys are thinking. Because I have not heard a thing in the last decade as worse as that from a head coach at the Leafs podium. At home. That was a home quote. You can sneak that in on the road, and maybe the entire media corps is not there. Maybe. That happened at home on a Saturday, man. That wasn't on the road in Columbus in November. And that was against Ottawa. That's kind of an important game right now. Battle of Ontario. Let me know when that happens again. Are you serious? You got to be kidding me. At the end of the day, I was expecting two things yesterday from the Toronto Maple Leafs. One was their first trade since last July. They have not completed a trade since last July. I was expecting maybe that. And based on the tone of Berube, I was expecting Craig Berube is no longer head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Because maybe both sides would kind of want it. Berube sounds like he's done. Anyone making the argument the other way is not paying attention. Chris in the chat, fire Berube and staff. Keep Steve Sullivan. Jesus Christ.
Is this where we're at?
Keep Steve Sullivan. Because his power play worked for 2 weeks. Keep Steve Sullivan. I expected Berube to be gone yesterday. I didn't expect the Kings to fire their head coach yesterday and Jim Hiller. Kings are like, listen, the Kings might be the worst offensive team in the league, but they're also 3 points out of a playoff spot. Final wildcard spot. The Seattle Kraken. Heaven help the NHL if I have to watch the Kraken in the playoffs. But the Kings are only 3 points out of a playoff spot and they fired their coach. 3. And I thought Berube was heading towards a similar press release yesterday with that comment. There are just times coaches, they say to you, just let me go and let me earn my money and I'll be on TNT's desk for the playoffs. That's it. I can tell you being asked to be sent away for money sometimes isn't awful. It happens. It happens. Berube felt like he was asking for that on Saturday night. But that didn't happen yesterday. And they had a full practice today, well, morning skate. They take on the Flyers tonight. Not like that matters. But they take on the Flyers tonight. Berube's running it all. And I'm like, wow. They're going to keep him. Now, I know Ed Rogers and Tony Staffieri at Rogers Communications. They're not big fans of paying people not to work. Sometimes. But from a sports perspective, they don't like doing that. That I know. So part of me isn't shocked Berube's still the coach as we sit here on Monday at 12:20 p.m. Eastern. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, this is good. This is good for 2 reasons. Berube can't go anywhere. He can't. I'm going to die on this hill. 2 reasons. One, this is going to get worse. This is going to get worse. And it's time that the Leafs realize might need a high pick again. Might need a high pick. I don't know if McKenna's the kid, but you might need a high draft pick this year. And if Berube just sits there, you know Berube's grand idea was today at practice? Nylander with McMahon and Austin Matthews on the top line. Whoa. It's Scotty Bowman there. Whoa. Yeah, that's worked every time you've done it before. That's worked beautifully. But this is going to get worse. So in the standings, for pragmatic people, this actually is a good thing for the Leafs. Let Berube run this into the ground. If you paid for your tickets, you're not my problem. That's a you decision. That's not me or the rest of the fan base. That's a you decision. I don't care about fans who have constantly paid for this. That's up to you. I'm talking big picture, no prospects in the cupboard. If the Leafs can get into the top 5 and keep their pick, you got to try. So just leave Berube there because he has no ideas. He has 0 ideas. That's the first reason he should stay. Second, and maybe more importantly, I think Berube should stay because I know full well everyone in that room wants him gone, and to hell with him. To hell with him. Let him sit with Berube for the next 22 games. Enough of bailing out wannabe champions in this city who talk a big game and don't do anything when it matters. Enough. Let Berube run every practice, every morning skate, all of it. I'm tired of bailing players out. Let them get some accountability. They want him gone. It's pretty obvious they want Berube gone. Don't let it happen. Thanks, Brendan. Every time something happened negative, not the player's fault. You guys are good. No. You keep Berube around those guys. You keep the guy who had like 300 stitches on his forehead and still went to work around those guys. Do that. Because I like that. I don't care what Tavares wants. I don't care what Willie wants. I don't care what else. No. He stays. And you guys need to grow up. He stays. You need to grow up and throw a hit once in your life. This Leaf thing's getting way more interesting by the minute. By the minute. You watch the whole video. You're the best. A reminder, the Sid Seixeiro Show is live, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday to Friday, right here on YouTube. Click like, hit subscribe if you want to support the show. If you've already done that, you're our friend.